Hey, what's up everybody? Anyextee here. In this video, captured during a recent ADEPT Expeditions tour of Egypt, we go inside the Sphinx enclosure, where Dr. Manu Seyfzadeh explains why the head of the Sphinx is disproportionate to the body and how it was originally the head of Neyland and not Anubis, as some have posited. Enjoy the video. If you notice, the head of the Sphinx is disproportionate to the body, right? It doesn't look the same. Robert Neyland he's an award-winning sculptor. He has wrote a remarkable paper demonstrating how this couldn't possibly be the original head because of the proportions. And there's some theories out there. Robert Temple was among the first to posit the idea that the Sphinx was originally had the head of Anubis, the jackal. However, Robert Neyland has pointed out how that's not even possible. The nose would have snapped off.
If you saw the documentary Mystery of the Sphinx with Charlton Heston, right? This is a famous documentary. They proposed that the original head of the Sphinx was a lion or maybe a king or a god, and so. But the new information that we now have is we think it was a lioness. It was not a lion. It was a lioness. Her name was Mahit. Okay. And the head of that lioness was recarved into the smaller Sphinx head that you see now. That's the first reason why it's disproportionate. The second reason why it's disproportionate is what I just mentioned, the great fissure. So what Lehner pointed out in his thesis, he's saying if they had stopped the monument here, it would have been a vertical wall, a rump that's basically, at a vertical angle. It doesn't look right. So they wanted to have a haunch. And so they extended the monument, and that's how you end up with some disproportionality, okay? The other thing that you mentioned is Rob. Okay, so Rob is a sculptor, as Next pointed out, and when Rob was trying to recreate the Great Sphinx using clay, basically, with his fingers, he predicted that there should be a ridge for the neck, and that is exactly what you see up there. It's a little bit difficult from here, but if you stand up there, you can actually easily see it. It's like a V-shaped ridge. It's the last layer of the member 2, the middle member, okay? And that is what Robert's saying is the original neck. And it extends from approximately, where that little ridge is, all the way up, and that would be a proportional lioness, okay? And what the Schaffers builders did is they chopped this down, they created a Nemes tail, okay, and then they made the Sphinx head. And all of that fits exactly into the lion head. The other thing that you mentioned, Nemes
tail, for those that may not be familiar, is the headdress that you see the pharaohs wearing, and there'd be a little ponytail in the back.
One more thing you brought is Robert Temple. That's a very important point because Robert Temple is obviously a well-recognized author. A lot of people have read the book, and they will always say, well, why not Anubis? Okay, so if you ask Robert Schock, the first answer you will get, Anubis points west, not east. That's the first one, okay? The second one is, and this is what Next and I have discussed, actually, we think that this was not a necropolis originally. This was a settlement, and we have the evidence of that in an archaeological dumpster site on the other side. It's called the Cromer dump, and there's evidence of a settlement, people living here, not dying here and being buried, okay? So this monument was not originally a guardian of a cemetery. It was some other, like we're saying, it was a lioness, it was some other statue dedicated to some other idea, okay? Probably had to do with due east. I shot something. So this idea that it has to be Anubis, not necessarily. And then if you look at the textual evidence that Temple provides in his book, he's saying basically that this is a moat. It was filled with water, and in the pyramid text there's one line where it says that, the Sphinx is basically has the head of a jackal, and that's how this all came about. You take a look at it and then you decide.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Leave a comment below to let us know what you think. Was it the head of Anubis, Mahit, neither, or something else? I do have a comprehensive documentary video that goes into much more detail on the identity of the Sphinx, to which I'll leave a link for you in the description below. And you can see the Sphinx up close from inside the enclosure, which is not available to the general public, but will be accessible to members of my next tour of Egypt, which you can join. This will be a special permissions tour with exclusive access to some of Egypt's most sacred sites. To reserve your spot for this tour, visit adeptexpeditions.com. Thanks again for watching the video, and if you are new to my channel, please subscribe now.